giving a speech the other day, and I was talking to folks, and I made the comment of those on in 2003 when we found ourselves with a $10 billion budget deficit. And frankly, what had happened, it was think about this for just a second. You know, when people think about Texas now, they think that we're this absolute red state. We're a Republican to the core. But you think about it, Texas really was not a Republican state until 2003. You think about that. I mean, a lot of us think about, well, you know, George Bush was elected in 1995 to be our governor, and so that made us a Republican state. No, it helped a bunch. God bless him. Thank you, Lord, for letting us have George W. Bush as our governor. But the fact of the matter is, it didn't make us a Republican state because we still had a Democrat House and a Democrat Senate. We had a Democrat Lieutenant Governor. In 1999, Judge, when my right hand, I gotta stay off those bicycles, man. That would hurt you. You know, I got worse hurt on bicycles than I did horses, so, you know, I kind of keep off those bicycles. But the fact is, when I took my hand off of the Bible being sworn in 1999 as a Lieutenant Governor, that was the end of statewide Republicans in the state of Texas. But it was 2003 before we elected a House of Representatives, a Senate, Lieutenant Governor, and Speaker. 2003. So that's only been a short 6-year period of time when you think about it. 6 years ago, when Texas became a Republican state. And what did we have to welcome us there when we got there in 2003? A $10 billion budget deficit because the Democrats had spent too much money in those programmatic items that went forward. And they left us with a $10 billion budget deficit. Now let me tell you, that's serious money. That's real money. And Emma, you remember what that's where I was getting to with making the statements that the newspapers and those on the left, and I was kind of I'm being redundant. They were all calling for a state income tax. Remember? I mean, you read it. I'm sure right here in this town, this newspaper, they're saying, you Republicans are going to have to admit you're going to have to finally pass a state income tax. No way can we cut that much out of our budget. You'll be the laughingstock of America. People will be in the streets. But we had individuals who had stood up and said, if you will elect us, we will operate differently than people who had come before. We'll run our business like you have to run your small business. You'll have to make hard decisions, but principled decisions. And that's exactly what we did in 2003. Now, did we get criticized? Oh, brother, yes. I mean, we got criticized from left to right, all the way down across this state, across the country. People were criticizing this Republican, cold, heartless group of people in Texas. They're going to cut the budget and cut out all of these government programs that are going to leave people in terrible shape. But the fact of the matter is, we understood something. We understood what Ronald Reagan talked about when he said, if you will give people the freedom, if you will let people compete, if you will not, I tell people, I'm an animal science major from Texas A&M University, but I get this. I mean, I get this government business. This is not rocket science. Don't spend all the money. Keep the taxes relatively low. Have a regulatory climate that is predictable and fair. Have a legal system that does not let frivolous lawsuits drive businesses and doctors out of the state. A public school system, an accountable public school system, so that businesses know that when they come here or when they expand here, there will be a skilled workforce. That's the 4 tenets of success. And then get the heck out of the way and let the private sector do what the private sector does, which is create jobs and wealth. That was our formula, and it's worked. God, wouldn't it be awesome if we had Washington, D.C. that would follow that model for just a short period of time? what started this extraordinary move in this state that has put Texas at the apex. I mean, think about this, Bob. Think about 20 years ago, a short 20 years ago, where we were as a state. We were broke. We were the laughing stock of the Northeast. People were laughing, oh, them Texans are broke down there. You know, let them freeze, those Texans. What do we care about them? People were making fun of Texas because we had fallen on hard times, because we had put our eggs all into the basket of real estate, banking, agriculture, oil and gas. And we were broke. In a short 20-year period of time, you heard the doc list them off. Texas, home to more Fortune 500 companies. Texas, the #1 exporting state in the nation for 7 years in a row. Texas, the #1 relocation state for 4 years in a row. 60% of all the jobs created in America last year were in Texas. That is a powerful story. You look at publications like Forbes, all of the business journals across the country. Today, The Economist. Let me tell you, if you pick up a copy of the Economist magazine, there's a picture of a big old strong Texan running into the beach carrying a jet ski and an old California surfer bum walking in like this. That's what's happening in this country because we put into place conservative, fiscal conservative, thoughtful, Republican concepts.